happening? It's happening, Floor Dog. Here we are. We're rocking and rolling and ready to do show number 299 of Used to Be a Problem. Welcome, everybody. It's Monday. It's getting warm here in Seattle. It's going to be in the mid-90s a week from now, which means, whew, you're going to be hearing that fan roar over my voice all next week. Well, we'll go through it here. I've got the response from Finra that they submitted on Friday. I didn't get it. I didn't see it until after I finished the show. It had been posted earlier, but no one tagged me in it. It's pretty weak sauce. As my roommate, who's a paralegal, says, it seems kind of hysterical. Like they're in hysterics. So we'll go through that. And what else is happening? Hindenburg Research tried to short attack last week. Tried to short attack Carl Icahn's company IEP, and it didn't really stick. It had a little dip and then is bouncing right back. He's like, we're still offering a $2 dividend this quarter, so suck it, losers. There's rumors that there's a what they call it, a dark horse purchase going on of Bed Bath & Beyond via the culprits we think are happening, Cohen and Icahn. Now, this is likely how it would go is they would probably take care of a bunch of debt, pick up a cajillion shares for pennies on the dollar, essentially. Like, because right now the stock price went to 20 cents today. So, thanks to my last minute buying last Tuesday, I am now in the green on Bed Bath & Beyond, because I think my average is at 16 cents. But they buy up a whole bunch of shares, and then they've got 10 days to report if they own 5% or more of the company. And so we might not find out for a week or so. But then, with the remaining stock, if they haven't purchased anything, then they put in a hell of an offer saying like, hey, we'll buy you for $5 or $10 a share for the remaining shares that they haven't purchased yet, which would force shorts to pay that money in cash to close out shares for any short positions they have, which would be mean and cruel. So, in the end, they might spend $1 billion or $2 to buy it all, but they got the majority of it for probably like $30 million, $40 million. Yeah. And it would show that they've got the financial wherewithal to own such a company. So the debtors would be like, okay, you can do this. Again, total long shot, all speculation, not exactly a guaranteed thing, which is why I still treat my Bed Bath & Beyond purchases as a lost cause. In my brain, I'm just going to say that money's gone forever. I will never see it again. And then if something amazing happens, then I'll be pleasantly surprised. But I'm not going to treat it as if it's a guaranteed thing. I still give it 50-50. Just a coin flip. Whether they get purchased or not, or just wither and die in bankruptcy. And they switch from chapter 11 to chapter 7, and then it's all over. Cool. Monkey Butt is just a floor dog today. She's been outside in the sun just melting. So her brain's a little cooked. And I hear a cat. Hi, cat. Come on in. Yes. Come and hang out, little buddy. Come and hang out. Move that up there. Okay. Come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. Come here. Come here. Oh, you liked this spot back in the day, so why don't we just hang out right there? Yes, that's a good spot for the cat. Oh, look at that handsome devil. He's so handsome. He wants to move, but I'm not letting him because he's just stuck. Yeah, see? See what a handsome guy you are? Oh, you're knocking magnets down. And the magnets are attached to various things. Okay. All right. You know what we should probably do? We should probably do this. And he's vanished. Okay. Oh. Off. I'm sure there's anything else you guys will bring it up in the chat because that's what we do here. You guys prompt, I respond. Michael Mystery, Whoppy. Tom Zerlatka? Hope I said that right. Let's say humans all die off. What animal steps up to be king of the beasts? I think it's supposed to be king of the beasts, but you say king beats. I like that too. Yo, 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 I'm King Beats. And do they eventually evolve to human-like creatures? Okay, so there is a premise in the theory of evolution that eventually you will end up with a bipedal, big-brained top dog. Had say the dinosaurs not been killed off by a comet/meteor 63 million years ago, it's very likely you would have some descendant of dinosaurs as an upright, language-speaking, object manipulating, tool using, food cooking creature. Maybe laying eggs. Who knows? There's lots of evolutionary evidence that points towards something, because so many apes at the same time that are distantly related to each other were bipedal top dogs in various parts of the planet, and then humans basically either killed them off or fucked them all to death. That's how we ended up with humans as the top ones. I mean, we had Cro-Magnons. They did some cave art, but they weren't necessarily flashy. Neanderthals had bigger brains than humans, but we either killed them all. Some of us have Neanderthal DNA mixed in. But there's evidence that it's sort of a natural progression, evolutionary speaking, that something is going to end up being like king. So what creatures? So just humans die off, just like humans just blink. Some pandemic happens, and we all die, and the world is left to rot, and something else is going to step up. It's going to be something that can manipulate objects or quickly get there. There are very smart birds. There are very smart pinnipeds, but they don't really have the object manipulating ability of other creatures. My guess is because of the advantage of mammalia, of specifically simian mammalia, you would probably see it come from great apes, whether it's orangutans, chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas. One among that crew is going to figure it out. And because we've also been training a lot of lab simians how to use language and manipulate objects, it's been shown they can teach their young how to do this stuff too, that thousands of years down the line of them passing some information on, you get one little genetic mutation where the frontal lobe's a little bit bigger, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm going to do mathematics. I would say it would be those. If it's like one of those things like a neutron bomb goes off and most living things die, it'd be just some sort of cockroach-related insect creature, probably. That would be the next up. Lots of ways. Sup, your boy Kenny. I saw that he was having dinner with Jeff Bezos at Miami's F1 race last night. There. Billionaires are gonna billionaire, I guess. Michael Mystery, Houston, your birthday's getting close. I have some stuff about ready to go in your P.O. box. Oh boy. Yum, 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 yum. Excellent. Monkey, I bet there's something in there for you. Yeah, it's true. I bet there is. Tom Zerleka. Oh, that's the same question again. Okay. Michael Mystery, hey slackers, hit the like and go join for the cost of a coffee. Thank you, Michael Mystery. Mario Valdez, is the movement we are seeing in BBYQ due to shorts closing their positions? What do you think about the oopsie with the proven synthetic shares from the two documents? I think we go up from there. I don't know if it's shorts going, shit, we should probably close this before the stock's at $5-10, or there's a buyout offer at a significant value. Or if it's going up because there's a lot of buying going on by a dark horse of some kind. Going purchase. I can buy this entire company right now for $100 million. And I have this entire logistics network and 14,000 employees and $7 billion a year in revenue and blah, 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 blah. It's a screaming deal. And, Ryan Cohen, just on the profits from when he sold last August, he could buy 90% of the company. So not such a bad deal right there. Shorts don't close. They always are like, we won't close ever. We will sit here and drive this company into the ground. And then because if we close, we have to pay taxes, and we don't want to pay taxes because we're a bunch of jerks. And they want it to drift off in pink sheet doom, fluctuate at seller bottoming for a decade, and then just disappear forever. That's what I think they're going for there. Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston. What kind of couch doesn't like long-term commitment? A pull-out couch. Pull-out method. They were a great band back in the day. Have you seen them? They're good. I saw them with the Get Down Syndrome. Two of the best names in punk rock I ever saw. Iggy Limon. Mara Valdez, I'm wondering if they decide to use BBYQ to generate liquidity via some gnarly volatility. I kind of think we may see a trend with some other OTC stocks. Very possible. Houston, any thoughts on Pulte and him possibly buying in a BBY takeover? There was a rumor the other day because Pulte had shown a picture of his kid in like one of those baby bouncer things. And like, see, Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know. It seems that Pulte has been in contact with Ryan Cohen. He does announce like, hey, I'm buying more GME today. And he did. And it spiked the price of GameStop like $2 a share just from him buying some more. I'd be curious. I mean, if you're going to do a takeover of a company like this, you're going to want to get a little band together. Because each of them can buy up a chunk while they're waiting to consolidate everything else. So I don't see it's too far outside the bounds, but I cannot confirm anything. And I bet they would not confirm it either until it's a done deal. Kellerus, happy birthday. What requirements do you think GME want to fulfill before doing a dividend? My guess is they want multiple quarters of profit. If they can get several quarters in a row and demonstrate that last quarter wasn't just a Christmas fluke, then I think that's what they're going to go for. So that's probably it, because you don't want to be spending the cash on hand you have on dividends and eat away at that. It's nice to have $1 billion sitting there ready to go in case there's emergencies or economic downturns or whatever. You need to upgrade your storefronts. Who knows? So my guess is they're waiting for a couple of quarters to show that this isn't a fluke, that this is going to be a regular thing. And you want a regular thing when you're offering dividends. First name, last name. Houston, Mr. Show Friday, YouTube dropped the ball, didn't send notifications. Boo. Hope you had a great show. What's for dinner later? I have not thought about dinner tonight. Although I do have a whole bunch of sauteed steak ready to go, cubed up. And I like to throw that stuff into like ramen. So it might be ramen tonight. Got some snow peas, some broccoli. Throw that in there too. I do have a couple of pork ribs left still also. As well as some Spanish rice with tomato sauce. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Holderson, Houston, what's your super realistic take and how long it's going to take until we find some OS? Could it drag on for some more years? I don't think, if the economy is nosediving like we think it is, I don't think it should take long after that. What was the number? William Morgan's in here. 721 banks posted losses that were like 50% of their assets, something ridiculous, some ridiculous number like that. So basically, almost every bank on earth is posting losses right now. So we're expected just a giant liquidity crunch when it comes. You know, I follow this account that's like Real Estate Bubble Enjoyer or something like that, and they post things from news groups or newspaper articles about the real estate bubble that's coming. And these guys are discussing on some message board about, in 2021, my wife and I make $170,000 a year. We just need a $300,000 loan for a house. We got approved for $800,000 at 3%. And we're like, oh shit, we can get a giant house this way. A couple of guys agreed with him. This other dude popped up. He's like, yeah, my family, we make $240,000 a year, and we only got approved for $400,000 at 6%. Like, that's the way it's going now. Is that your approvals are way lower. The amount of house you can buy, way less. Granted, there are still a couple of places like here in Bainbridge. I talked to my real estate friends, and they're like, no, people are still buying with cash. There aren't as many. There's not multiple offers coming on a house, and people are actually starting to do housing inspections again, which they weren't. They were foregoing inspections and just blind buying places, and expecting like, oh, I'll have to spend a bunch of money doing repairs or whatever. But now they're actually sending out inspectors, and the inspectors are looking at the houses and telling them if it's a good deal or not and what needs to get fixed. And they just weren't doing that before. But the pool of buyers is fewer. And prices are kind of flat in my community. But again, my community is a lot of rich people that buy with cash, probably using margin that they got from their investment accounts or their trust funds or whatever. So we're still waiting. We're still waiting to see when the rest of the country drops to its knees as a result of the housing crunch. Quiet Quest, MMTLP news. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, duh. I'm going to the chat and I was going to read this whole stupid thing and then I didn't. Got distracted. Yes. Could they open trading before May 30th? Probably not. But anyway, before I continue the questions, where I leave off, left at Holgerson's 2:10 p.m. That's where I left off. Nope, we don't want Google Chrome. Oh, no, Google Earth. We want Chrome. Boom. Okay. This won't take long. It's only 13 pages and most of it's just gobbledygook. Okay. So this is Finra's response to Roza's motion to amend her complaint. Basically she's saying, Your Honor, a bunch of new information came to light. I need to add this information to my complaint because I got more reasons to sue Finra for because they suck. And so then she listed out 90 pages of how much they suck. And the response is 13 pages long, and most of it is meh. So, all right. This is Finra, defendant's financial... Finra opposes plaintiff's motion for leave to amend complaint in support of its opposition. Finra states as follows. In direct violation of her obligations or local rules of this court, plaintiff filed a motion for leave to amend her complaint without first attempting to meet and confer with Finra. That failure alone is sufficient basis to deny plaintiff's motion. However, like the original complaint, the proposed amended complaint is also subject to dismissal because Finra is absolutely immune from suit in the performance of its regulatory functions. In addition, the amended complaint does not cure the fundamental defects and pleading deficiencies identified in Finra's motion to dismiss the complaint, which is fully briefed. Because the amended complaint cannot withstand a motion to dismiss, leave to amend would be futile. For these reasons, the court should deny plaintiff's motion for leave to amend the complaint, and the court should grant Finra's motion to dismiss with prejudice. So basically they're saying, you can't sue us, nanny boo-boo, you suck. And they're saying also that there's a rule in the Northern District of Florida, the 7.1b that's here, that says if you're going to file any motion whatsoever, you have to call and confer with the enemy before you file that motion. Which is strange because Finra filed some motions and never called Roza to confer with her when doing that. That's what a motion to dismiss is. So they're playing a dangerous game here. Plaintiff failed to confer as required by local rules. Plaintiff failed to confer with Finra's counsel prior to filing the motion in violation of local rule 7.1b. That rule mandates that before filing a motion raising an issue, an attorney for the moving party must attempt in good faith to resolve the issue through meaningful conference with an attorney for the adverse party. The rule applies to both represented and unrepresented parties, with an exception not relevant here, and is intended to conserve the resources of the parties as well as judicial resources. The failure to confer prior to filing a motion is alone basis for denial. Because plaintiff has failed to comply with local rules, plaintiff motion must be denied. Deny motion, quash subpoena, blah, 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 blah. This is citing some things. Here, plaintiff disregarded the local rules and failed to confer with Finra prior to filing the motion. Accordingly, the motion should be denied. Now, I'm no expert in local rules. I'm no expert on federal courts. I'm not a lawyer. But the spirit of 7.1b, I believe, has to do with motions like I move to add this witness, I move to do this. Not necessarily like, Your Honor, I found more reasons to sue them. Because like you can call and be like, hey, I'm going to sue you guys more than I was. And they'd be like, please, no, don't. That's not really, she never conferred with them when she filed her complaint in the first place, right? You don't have to add more charges, you don't have to like ask for permission from the other party. That's just not how it works. I don't think 7.1b really is a spirit of 7.1b when it comes to something like adding more stuff to your complaint. Plus, again, Finra filed a motion to dismiss without ever contacting Roza to discuss the merits of it. So Finra is in violation of Rule 7.1b according to their interpretation of it. So suck on that, Finra. Proposed amendments to the complaint would be futile. Once a representative pleading has been filed, the federal rules of civil procedure provide that a party may amend its pleading only with the opposing party's written consent or the court's leave. While leave to amend could be freely given when justice so requires, a district court need not allow amendment that would be futile. So they're saying you can't amend unless we give you permission, or unless the court gives you permission. But Roza asked the court for permission, so what are you going to do? Right? The court can give permission, and Finra and Bill say shit about it. Proposed amendment is futile when the complaint is amended, would still be properly dismissed, or be immediately subject to summary judgment for the defendant. Okay, so Finra's arguing that you can't amend because this is going to be thrown out anyway. That's what they're saying, because we got immunity. But Roza showed in her filings multiple times that Finra had been successfully sued on similar grounds and lost. So they're claiming this absolute immunity thing is total bullshit, and they're going to do it a bunch more times in here. Here, proposed amended complaint is futile for multiple reasons. 1, the amended complaint is subject to dismissal because Finra is entitled to regulatory immunity. Plaintiff's attempts to address Finra's immunity in the amended complaint misses the mark and does nothing to overcome the applicability of regulatory immunity to the claims asserted. First, relying on her assertion that in addition to being a regulator, Finra is a billion-dollar private investment organization, plaintiff argues that Finra has a private business interest in trading volume and market activity. This unsupported and conclusory assertion does not change the nature of Finra's regulatory activities. That's not true. It's not unsupported. She literally gave evidence that they have a $1.3 billion investment portfolio. So they lied when they said unsupported. In addition, the additional allegations in the amended complaint do not establish that the MMTLP trading halt was entirely divorced from Finra's legitimate regulatory duties. Well, you have to show that it was entirely divorced from Finra's regulatory duties, right? Or they show that it wasn't. Because Rose is like, I don't know because they won't show us the books. And Finra's saying, well, we're not going to show you the books. But it's obviously unrelated. You can't make that claim without evidence. And Finra has not shown evidence. In any of this, they have not shown a slice of evidence that supports their arguments here. Instead, the allegations further emphasize that all the conduct in which Finra is alleged to have engaged regarding MMTLP arises directly from the discharge of its duties under the Exchange Act. No. The entire point was Roza was able to show that A, their argument that it was a halt due to the fact that settlement would be a problem was bullshit because FINRA in its own frequently asked questions said it had to do with a glitch. B, the Freedom of Information Act request revealed that FINRA, via the SEC, knew that there was a bunch of fraud going on and did not address that. C, twice FINRA filed corporate action saying that this would end on the 12th, and they had no problem doing that. So, if FINRA was doing things in its regulatory interest, it would have done things in its regulatory interest, the capacity of its duties as a regulator. They did not. They had multiple opportunities over years to do that, and they failed every single solitary time. So, when they say, she can't sue us because we're just doing our regulatory duties, they never did their regulatory duties, and all of a sudden, we're like, halt! Because they saw what a mess them not doing the regulatory duties was resulting in. So, yeah, they didn't do their job properly. And I think arguing them not doing their job properly is them doing their job is a bunch of bullshit. Okay. For example, plaintiff adds allegations related to a December 5th, 2022 email from FINRA to the SEC, in which FINRA indicates that it was blue sheeting both MMAT and MMTLP. That email, which states FINRA was looking at the two issuers from a fraud manipulation angle, demonstrates FINRA was engaged in regulatory activities to monitor markets. In addition, the allegations regarding failures to deliver offer nothing more than unsubstantiated conjecture and audacious assumptions about covert market activity that FINRA allegedly allowed. All right. The fraud in those emails were not about the issuers. It didn't say anything about the issuers. It just said there appears to be fraud. Second, yes, failures to deliver offer a very substantial ability to conjecture because failure to deliver is naked shorting. Naked shorting is illegal. So if you're allowing naked shorting of huge amounts, we're talking failures to deliver shares 40 days in a row where tens or hundreds of millions of shares are not being delivered, that is fraud. That is a lot of fraud. That is mountains of fraud. And your job as FINRA is to stop fraud from happening, and you did nothing about that fraud. So, if you're going to argue that you can't be sued for doing your regulatory duties, and you never did your regulatory duties, then you can be friggin' sued. That is a very, very stout argument. Okay. Plaintiff's assertion that failures to deliver are permitted without enforcement regulation does not change the nature and function of FINRA's conduct. So they're saying, well, yeah, a whole bunch of failures to deliver and naked selling happen, but that's not our problem, says the regulator whose job it is to make sure that failures to deliver don't happen. In fact, plaintiff admits FINRA has the duty to regulate, oversee, and overhaul much of the complexities that are faced in this case. Yes, they do. And did they oversee it? No. That's the entire reason why she's suing you, dipshits. So, oh my God, this is I think the first draft was in crayon. Okay, so FINRA is arguing that because their duty is to make sure this stuff doesn't happen, and this stuff happened, that she can't sue them for not making sure it didn't happen. Does that make any sense? That it doesn't make any sense to me why they would even bother putting it in there. Basically, they're admitting hey, we failed miserably at our jobs, but you can't sue us for that because that's our job. FINRA's regulatory immunity is absolute, and even assuming plaintiff's implication that FINRA somehow failed in its regulatory duties was true, and it's not, FINRA's immunity extends to the improper performance of regulatory adjudicatory or prosecutorial duties delegated by the SEC. Okay, so if they improperly regulated, that's one thing. If they purposely improperly regulated, that's another entirely. You cannot use your role as a self-regulatory agency with certain duties endowed upon you by Congress to manipulate the market, to put your thumb on the scale, to do things that are outside the bounds of your authority and are unethical with the power you wield, which is what Rose is arguing. So if you're going to argue that, even if we suck at our jobs, you still can't sue us, That's not how any of this works. Plus, you don't have absolute immunity. You only have immunity from monetary damages. You've been sued a bunch of times by a bunch of other entities successfully outside the scope of monetary damages. So, yeah. Okay, plaintiffs' reliance on Amerivet Securities Incorporated and Axon Enterprise cases also fails to provide any basis to avoid Finra's regulatory immunity. First, and the only commonality between Amerivet case and this one is both plaintiffs requested some form of accounting. Okay. Amerivet case, however, can easily be distinguished because here the party requesting access to Finra's books and records was a Finra member firm, which had a well-defined documented relationship with Finra as a self-regulatory organization. Okay, so they're saying they have absolute immunity from lawsuits, and then they say, well, I mean, if they're a member of Finra, they can sue us. That's not how absolute immunity works. Okay, like, Your Honor, we have absolute immunity, except for this time this guy was able to successfully sue us. But other than that, we have absolute immunity. Or this other time somebody was able to successfully sue us. That also is an exception to the rule. In this case, plaintiff did not allege in the complaint or amended complaint that she has any relationship with Finra. You don't have to allege you have a relationship with Finra to sue Finra. Namely because by participating in the market, you have a relationship with Finra. Finra is supposed to protect you from fraud. And if they aren't protecting you from fraud, but actively helping those who are committing fraud, then Finra is using its powers from Congress unethically, illegally, and in a way that should get them sued to hell and back. Okay, nor could she. Second, plaintiff cites to the recent decision of Supreme Court Axon Enterprise Incorporated versus FTC to argue that as a result of that decision, Finra is not beyond the reach of honorable court. The Axon decision, however, has no applicability in this case. In Axon, the Supreme Court considered how and when respondents in administrative enforcement actions can challenge the constitutional authority of the governmental agency bringing enforcement action. Unlike the appellants in Axon, plaintiffs is not subject of an administrative enforcement action brought by a governmental agency. Plaintiff has not alleged any structural constitutional claims against the government agency in response to such administrative proceeding. Except she's suing you over the Sherman Act, which is a law and has constitutional bearing. Instead, plaintiff's complaint and amended complaint allege violations of the antitrust securities laws based on Finra's regulatory activities and therefore subject to dismissal because of Finra's immunity applies regardless of Finra's alleged motives and despite plaintiff's disagreement with how Finra carried out its function. Supreme Court's this was I think Empire Fin versus Finra was looking for money, so that doesn't really apply. Supreme Court's Axon decision has no impact on Finra's immunity, which applies to the claims in the amended complaint. They don't have absolute immunity. You have immunity from monetary damages. That is different from absolute immunity. You just have immunity from monetary damages. These reasons discussed in Finra's motion to dismiss, plaintiff's motion for leave amended rules futile. Hi, monkey. For these two, the amended complaint does not cure the pleading defects that deprive the court of subject matter jurisdiction. In this motion dismiss, Finra established that the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction because plaintiff's claims are moot and because plaintiff failed to establish Article 3 standing. Not really. The allegations added to the amended complaint do not cure these defects. Specifically, while plaintiff did amend the prayer for relief included in the amended complaint, she continues to seek equitable relief to enjoin Finra from deleting MMTLP across brokerage accounts. As discussed in Finra's motion to dismiss, Meta canceled the Series A preferred shares on or about December 14th, 2022, and Finra deleted the MMTLP symbol on December 13th. They did not delete until, was it March? Because we could see that it had not been deleted yet, that no corporate action had come out that they deleted. So they did not delete on the 13th. They are lying. And she is able to show that in her filings that they're lying. Liars. Big, fat, juicy liars. Okay. Accordingly, any claim for equitable relief has been rendered moot. The amended complaint does not identify any alleged future harm that would be remedied by equitable relief. Not really, though, because, I mean, she really says, like, People have not gotten their shares. Some people didn't want to go in the next bridge. They're hoping to sell during a short squeeze, etc. Harm was done. And what Finra has not shown is that how they would be harmed if such a ruling came from the court. As a result, the claims asserted in the amended complaint continue to be moot, and leave to amend would be futile. Similarly, plaintiff has not amended the complaint to meet the bedrock constitutional requirement of establishing Article 3 standing, which requires plaintiffs to allege she suffered injury in fact that is concrete, particularized, actual, or imminent. She had 200 pages of her establishing how she'd been injured. You have just not addressed any of those. Not one time have you addressed any of her injuries in the complaint. Not once. You have, 50 pages you've submitted to the court so far, and have ignored the injuries she's incurred the entire time. So it's just saying she doesn't state any injuries when she has hundreds of pages of her injuries is disingenuous. And I hope the judge is able to see through that. As discussed in Finra's motion to dismiss, the conclusory and generalized allegations of harm to all MMTLP shareholders included in the complaint are insufficient to establish Article 3 standing. Okay, so here they say she hasn't listed any injuries, and then they say that, well, the injuries she listed aren't that bad, so she can't sue. For the same reasons, the new allegation alleging that broker shorting without enforcement of regulation has allowed a company the defendant has no legal regulatory authority over to suffer a loss of dilution interest, among other legal harms incurred due to the defendant's actions. It does not breathe life into plaintiff's claims. In the amended complaint, plaintiff fails to allege any concrete particularized injury to support Article 3 standing. Accordingly, the court lacks the subject matter jurisdiction based on the amended complaint to leave and leave to amend is futile. So they're saying, A, she never said how she was injured. B, well, she did say she was injured, but she wasn't that injured. C, she doesn't have the right to say how she was injured because she's not the company itself. And D, this court is bullshit anyway and can't do anything to us. Okay, all right. 3, amended complaint is subject to dismissal because plaintiff has failed to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. In the motion to dismiss, Finra also provides additional grounds for dismissing the complaint, which plaintiff's proposed amendments failed to address. For example, in the amended complaint, plaintiff continues to assert a claim for aiding and abetting securities fraud. However, as discussed in Finra's motion to dismiss, that claim must be dismissed because Congress explicitly vested the SEC with exclusive authority to prosecute claims of aiding and abetting securities fraud. Okay, so they're saying that you can't sue us for committing securities fraud because that's the SEC's job to sue us for committing securities fraud. So this is essentially them admitting to securities fraud. What instead they should say is, we didn't commit any securities fraud, therefore you can't sue us for securities fraud. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, you can't do that. Only SEC can do that. Okay. Further, while plaintiff supplements the Sherman Act claim with additional allegations, the new allegations include unsupported legal conclusions cast in the form of factual allegations. As such, these allegations fail to provide sufficient basis for a plausible claim. For the reasons stated in Finra's motion to dismiss, the claims advanced in the amended complaint cannot withstand a motion to dismiss and therefore leave to amend will be futile. Basically, they're saying, she's suing us for Sherman Act violations for acting as a monopoly, but, she can't, even though she can. I mean, they've never been sued over Sherman Act before, so that would be new grounds for which there actually is no precedent. So they're trying to cite that there's precedent for this, and there is not. There's not. Conclusion. For the reasons stated herein, Finra requests the plaintiff's motion for leave to amend be denied, and that Finra's motion to dismiss the complaint be granted with prejudice. Okay. So again, their main argument is that they have immunity, except for the times they got successfully sued, that Roza has to call them and confer if she ever wants to file a motion, and then they end with Finra's motion to dismiss the complaint be granted with prejudice. When did Finra call Roza for a conference over their motion. Never. So, their own argument would throw out their own motion. Ta-da! You tripped over your own dick. Now they got the name partner actually doing this stuff. He's done the last two, because the first one was just such fourth grade reading level garbage. This is grasping at straws. This is not that strong an argument. They've managed to list no discovery to show that her complaint is invalid in any way, shape, or form, that she wasn't injured. Matter of fact, their entire argument is, we can't give you any of that stuff because you don't deserve it. So I'm hoping the judge goes, you know what? In order for you to claim that you've got immunity and that she hasn't been injured, you're gonna have to show us how she wasn't injured. That would be if I were the federal judge, which I'm not, and I'm not a law student or a lawyer or a judge or any of those things. But I've read enough of this crap to know when I see a big swing and a miss, and this one seems kind of desperate. It's a lot of the repeated stuff that seems to be cognitive dissonance. Like they're holding two opposing ideas in their head. You can't sue me. I've been successfully sued. Okay, I've been successfully sued, but that was for different reasons. It just doesn't swing, man. Doesn't swing at all. Okay. All right. So there you go. There's that. Big Houston. No intros. Whew. All right. Okay. So where are we? We were at 2:10 p.m. Finished the Holderson. If you guys have other stuff to add to this, jump in there. Different Lime. Are you taking any bets against debt ceiling? Picked up some UVXY calls for mid-June myself. Probably not a bad idea. Granted, law tickets. If it gets to crunch time and it looks like no one's going to pass the debt ceiling, and like Moody's comes out and downgrades U.S. debt from AAA to AA minus or whatever, the market's going to feel it. And the crazy town Republicans who would hold this hostage, I don't know how much donations they get from Wall Street, but Wall Street's going to be like, do your job, pass this thing, or else we're going to send mercenaries to your home type stuff. Like, you like falling out of windows? Getting in weird car crashes in the middle of the desert? That's what's going to happen. These guys are going to take no names on this. I have your friend Sears update. Not that I've heard of. I don't know if anything happened with Sears recently. Sears bankruptcy news. Tools. Past week. Okay. Yeah, nothing coming big out of Big Court. There's that weird thing about the Mall of America lease, but that doesn't really matter much towards us getting paid. Black Bezos. These guys are going so hard to protect the short sellers instead of protecting the regular investors. It makes no sense. As well stated as anything. SJ, good day. Good day, SJ. Philip Clayton. Black Bezos. It makes perfect sense. The game is always rigged. Well, that's true. Buy, hold, DRS, buy for GameStop. Chris Collins. I snuck into a shop to get my phone out. When Roza? I don't know. We'll probably... My guess is Roza won't chit-chat until the judge goes blurby blurp about something. And that might be happening this week? Not quite sure. Money Romeo, Tom Zerklaka, animals with opposing thumbs are a good candidate. Yes, they are. Pearson 9, hey Houston. Finra states Roza didn't come to them first about her amendment, though they've been stonewalling everyone for 5 months. Exactly. Exactly. How do you know Roza didn't try to confer with you? Because you don't answer the phone. You never answer the phone. Bill Coyne. I was talking Black Bezos there. Give Monkey Butt a noogie. Monkey Butt. A noogie. There you go. Yeah. Oh, it's a good noogie. All right. S.J. Houston, my concern regarding the Finra response is that they are offering the judge an easy way out of making the hard but right decision, as it could trigger everything else if he gives people the 2 days back. Here's the thing, is that judges hate being overturned by a higher court. And if they say Roza does not have constitutional standing to sue them, Article 3 standing, standing to sue a suffragatory agency, then she appeals to the Court of Appeal, and it gets in front of a panel of judges where the entire question is, does Roza have the right to sue these guys? And if, or does Finra have absolute immunity? And if it comes to does Finra have absolute immunity, that panel of judges is going to look at their track record of losing lawsuits, being like, but you've lost lawsuits, therefore you can be sued. And it's going to be remitted back down to the lower court. The judge is going to get slapped by the higher court, and he's going to be forced to admit that that Finra can be sued, and that's not the right foot. That's obviously going to put a real bad taste in his mouth for what Finra tells him. And especially since Rose is able to demonstrate several times along the way that Finra lied to her and lied to the court in their response, such as saying that it was deleted on the 13th when in fact it was not, that they were doing their job because fraud was involved. They never did shit about that, right? All they did was help the fraudsters. So my guess is it's going to trap them more than it will help them. It might give them a quick win, but if this thing goes to in front of a panel of judges at the appeals court, it's going to get tossed right back down to this court, and that judge is going to get a slap from them for basically wasting their time. Meow meow. The debt ceiling is an issue. In the end, the Republicans and Democrats are on the same greedy, corrupt team. I mean, yes, but at the same time, if you don't raise the debt ceiling, every investment on Earth implodes. So, implode every investment of every fund and bank and institution in the world, or just raise the debt ceiling. They're gonna have to raise the debt ceiling, because the outcome of U.S. Treasury bonds not being worth anything is so bad for the entire global community. The only people it help is probably Russia, because Russia doesn't have any U.S. bonds. Jess from Dax, can you still buy BBBYQ options, or is it too late? I'm sure if you have a crappy trading platform like Schwab, they won't care. You can still sell them, so there's someone out there obviously buying them. Pearson 9, at what point does Roza take your case to the appeals court? Because this judge is either getting paid from the other side to stall or wants nothing to do with this. That's all my opinion. She won't be able to take anything to a higher court unless the judge doesn't do anything forever, because then she would have a right to a speedy trial case. Or if the judge at all rules against her, she could take it to the appeals court. Philip Clayton, Ken Griffin keeps aging like fine milk. Judas Miami mailing you to Santa 24 bar bumper car sticker. Philip Clayton, No Labs released a press release. Did you see? There's two press releases. One was about their publication of the proof of concept. Basically, the Mayo Clinic did a study and was like, yeah, this thing identifies all sorts of stuff. And then they released one today talking about they're going to do a video conference call where you can submit questions and ask them about their earnings, which is, I don't know, when is that? I had it in my email. Okay, delete. No Labs, here we go. Yeah, No Lab today announced that we will host webcast to review business updates and results for a second quarter of the fiscal year. Media investors may access the live. Oh, so it's the live audio webcast at that thing beginning 1:15 p.m. on May 15th. So, webcast will also be available to replay. Company's management team can be submitted. Questions for the company's management team can be submitted through the webcast portal during the meeting. So you ask questions if you want, and they'll answer them. So there you go. Where are we? Joe Rocco, thank you for all efforts, brother. Much appreciated. Well, thank you, Joe Rocco. This is I've been stuck doing a lot of night shows recently, and so I've like doubled the audience when I do a daytime show because not everybody is awake when I'm awake and doing. My brain's going. So I welcome everybody here. Keller Russ, what's the deal with Wall Street Silver and other silver Reddits on Reddit? The guy who runs the Wall Street Silver Twitter account is real hit and miss. Like sometimes it's worthwhile news about metals and markets, and sometimes it's just weird conspiracy stuff. So definite hit and miss there. Belgian whale's a monkey butt admirer. Are you being admired by the Belgian whale, monkey? How exciting is that? She's excited. See, that's her excitement face right there. That's her being just over the moon. Thank you, Belgian whale. Poto, Kai, Bitrex just filed for bankruptcy. We saw that coming. Did you guys see? Okay, so Binance wouldn't let anybody transfer Bitcoin, claiming that it's congestion right now. It's all in the way, and so they all dumped their money. They sold their Bitcoin for Tether coin and are using Tether to dump their money out because they need money for stuff. And Tether depegged and went up crazy high to $1.30 because so many people needed Tether that Tether depegged. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now everyone's trying to get cash for their Tether. What's going to happen now? The entire reason you have a stable coin is that it's stable. And then when it's not stable, then it's not a stable coin. It's going to be weird, man. But yeah, Bitrex is done. Chris Taylor got some cheap 19th calls. Hope news goes down before then. Well, I hope so too. Fred Jones, episode 300 right around the corner. What's happening? I don't know. I should probably try and find someone to come on and celebrate 300 with, but I've not gotten around to doing that. I'll spend some time begging people tomorrow. But yeah, episode 300 is coming. That's crazy. 300 of these things. Almost a year's worth of shows and just shows. Sal Cordonic, how do you feel about space? That's Virgin Galactic. I think Richard Branson got annihilated during COVID. So much of his wealth is derived from people flying planes and going on vacation, and people weren't doing that it ate into a huge portion of his ability to do his to invest in other things like Virgin Galactic, and it may take some time for him to bounce back. It seems like everybody involved in Virgin Galactic right now has been furloughed, and there isn't much going on. So I don't feel particularly good about space at the moment. Might be one of those things where it goes into the dirt. Richard Branson builds up his wealth again, hires a bunch of people away from SpaceX or something, and starts all over again. He was the first of that crew of Musk, Bezos, and himself to get some people into touch space, and then didn't have any money to do it again. So, they they need some infusion. They need some government contracts or something. Like Mystery, nice shirt, by the way. It's the second time I've worn this shirt, I believe. This one I got in Hawaii when I was there September 21. So, it's a Hawaii shirt right here, man. It's a non-Hawaiian Hawaii shirt. Chalupa. Yeah, little chalupa kitty. You're just a little ball of fat doom. That's what you are. Oh. Okay. Where am I? Brandon T. Hi, Houston. I feel in the government's eyes, all MMTLP holders are just a problem. They would like to go away. Our situation is proof of the system's failure. Yeah. Thing is, you aren't going to be able to make us go away without paying us to go away, right? Because we're going to hold a grudge, and we're going to be as annoying as hell, essentially until we're all dead. And then we will hope that our children and grandchildren take up our fight, screaming and yelling at the powers that be. So, yeah, they're not going to be able to make us go away until that right there is that's going to have to happen. Chris Taylor, hi. Like you, I love San Diego. Lived there in the late 90s and would move back in a sec. Ever have a carne asada burrito from Taco Surf in Pacific Beach? I never had that particular thing from there. There was a place, what was it? Del Mar, crap. Right by the Red Apple Market in Point Loma. What was his name? I gotta go to Google Earth. Okay, let's go to, all right, that is Mexico. We gotta go up from there, San Diego. There we go. Okay. So, over here on this side, Point Loma, where's that youth hostel? My dreams, same beach. Oh no, did they go out of business? Eh, crap, that might be Point Loma Heights. Is there California Dreamin'? That's the Ocean Beach one. That's not what I'm looking for. Where's that Red Apple Market? Oh no, that is it. Okay. Yeah. They changed the name of the hostel. Now it's California Dreams Hostel. Cotijas, Cochina Mexicana. This is the place, man. This place. Holy shit. It's been a while since I've been there. These guys are right there. Now Stump's Family Market. It used to be Red Apple Market back in the day. But this Mexican restaurant. This one right here. Cotijas Cochina. So when I was living in the youth hostel trying to find a place to live, and I would go there, and for $5 I would get this styrofoam container that was about the size of a student's desk. And inside would be, I don't know, 5 fish tacos, probably 20 taquitos, rice, beans, and then you had a choice of enchiladas or burritos for $5. I would eat that thing for like 3 days. And it was just the fish tacos alone, the simplest, most tasty fish tacos I've ever had in my entire life. And I went back like 10 years later. Same dude. There's a dude that had a cleft lip that was behind the counter. Same guy's there. I get the exact same gigantic meal. It'll feed an entire family and it was like, the price had gone up to like $5.50. I'm sure now 10 years past that is even, gotten a little pricier. But let's see here. Can we go to, they got a website. Excellent. Maybe let's see what the prices are at the moment. I bet inflation has finally caught up to them, but that didn't go anywhere. Why is the website not opening? Oh, there it is. Come on, friend. Yep, go there. I just copy a link. How about that? How about we do that? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's just turn you off for a second. Okay. View menu. Yes. Tell me what's going on. Okay. So we're at $15. Where's the, they have the, salads, quesadillas, soft tacos, fish tacos, $5.75. How many you get? Because before it was like 5 of them. But maybe it's just one Taco 5. Though maybe they finally entered the 21st century and are charging enough money that they can make a living. But man, this place was delicious. If you're in San Diego, go. It is awesome. It is here in Ocean Beach, Point Loma area. Okay. So, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, Ocean Beach, Point Loma. They're on this little main drag here that heads towards the canal, and they're delicious. So if you have to stay in a youth hostel, this is the youth hostel I kind of lived in for a month, looking for a place to live. Excellent setup. Across the street, right by the grocery store. Just delicious. Cotijas, Cochina Mexicana. Just amazing fish tacos. And every time I go to San Diego, I've like, okay, I'll have to go on my way, go down there. But it's been a while since I've been there, so delicious. So I'm drooling now thinking about their fish tacos. Just okay. Ken Philip Clayton, remember when King Griffin and Citadel had a Twitter meltdown? Fun times. Indeed. Those are do it again, Ken. We could use the entertainment right now. Belgian Whale, so your calls of BBY transferred to Q stock. Can you buy more? Mine have zero value and can't buy any more on first trade. Any ideas? Not a clue, because you're in Europe, and I'm not sure how European brokerages treat it. Here in the US, it gets a Q on the end of it and becomes calls for that Q stock. And I still have a value. So I would call first trade to be like, hey, how come everyone else has a value on their options and I do not? That seems weird. So perhaps give them a ring. Peace Tech. Looks like another heat dome forming over Western Canada. Looks like this is new normal. Yeah, in my office is starting to get really warm because the door's been closed. I'm going to have to open the door just because I have no air in here. Speaking of which, maybe open the window too. It's roasty. That. Okay. Windows open. Let's get the cross breeze. I'm gonna get the fan in here soon. Oh yeah, that's better. I'm gonna have to get the fan going. You just reminded me just how sweaty I am right now. But yeah, it's gonna get toasty. I think 94, 95 is the forecast for next Monday. Let's see, on the computer has see full forecast. Yes, please. There it is. Okay, one sec. Okay, now saying only 85 for Monday. That's not too bad. The 94 was a little disconcerting, but only 85 for next Monday. So we can survive that. That's survivable. Doc Breezy Houston, what do you think about Nanox and the recent FDA clearance? I don't know anything about Nanox. Nano X Imaging. Looks like the market liked whatever they had going on. They were at $6, and they're at $6 as of April 28th, and now they are at $16. So whatever it is that they got approved for, looks like everybody liked what they're doing. Oh. Roommate setting up the fan. I think I had to put it on this cord over here. One sec. Thank you. It's now the ASMR white noise machine. Thank you. Oh. Now I'm caught in the door. There you go. You guys get the white noise machine of the fan doing the cooling off. So hope you're used to it. It's what you had to listen to last summer as well. Oh my goodness, that air feels so good. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, and Nox. I have no idea what their device is. I've never heard of them. So, good for them, I guess, obviously. So, way to go, Doc Breezy, if you got in that thing. Plus 1200, just throw it all in the ramen, bro. Probably will. Debacle Ent. Hi, HW. What are your thoughts on swapping out selling Ape for more AMC in hopes of an AMC run-up from ongoing core stuff? Or is writing out Ape a better hedge? Propose reverse split. Well, if one Ape becomes one AMC, then the Ape is going to go up in value like 3.5 times or 2.5 times, whatever the price difference is right now. So I think having more Ape will be worth more than AMC. If the courts rule that Ape is some sort of bogus bullshit and can't ever be recombined, then I don't know what you can do with Ape. Hi, monkey. Are you stuck? Do you want to come in? Are you stuck on the other side of the fan? Can you jump over the fan? As we want to. Come on. Come on, monkey. Come on. Come on, monkey. You can do it. You can do it. She's scared to jump over the fan. All right, come here. There you go. All right. There you go. Good dog. Good dog. That was so scary. The fan, you have to like jump over it. Oh my god, it's so terrifying. So terrifying. Come over here. Want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? Yeah, there you go. Oh, the cat's swatting her. Oh, is that cat petting you? Is that cat petting you? Yes. You're just such a sweet little dog. Just such a scratchy ear. Oh, yes. Okay. Dog hair. Bill Coyne, Liquidity Crunch, dog running really fast on a short chain. That's a good analogy. William Morgan, I'm in labor and you're asking for me. 722 banks. Yeah, so 722 banks are posting losses of 50%. Was that what it was? I can't remember the exact numbers out the top of my head. Something like 50% of their assets. Just Bex, if the company that cannot be named ends up being delisted, could it go through the same thing that BBYQ is or American Airlines? Being delisted is different than going into bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is Q stock status. Delisted is you didn't meet the requirement that your share be above $1 for X number of days. And yeah, so if you get delisted, you may have to reapply to join after you get your stock price up, or do another SPAC type thing where you take over somebody else's failing ticker. But that's all I can think of. Peterson, my thoughts to Finra's response are probably pretty similar to the thoughts my middle school teachers had when reading my answers to essay part of tests. Snurtler Rosa's She-Hulk. Yeah, it's good comparison. BW Brand, what is it with his heart covering the chat text? I have no idea. I don't see any hearts on my end. If gaslighting the court with a spaghetti strength argument actually works, someone is likely to distribute their own justice. If they amended complaints, then wouldn't that let the court extend this process another 90 days? Possibly, but they gave their answer. Yeah, today was the 90th day, and the judge case say something, so nothing. What's today, 90 days? Or was it the 11th? Because she filed... February 8th is when they filed their response. Tuesday. It says tomorrow, Tuesday. But they just filed this on Friday. Okay. So they're saying 90 days is tomorrow. That's what Google says. I have no idea. Again, all this is so much judge's prerogative probably that I don't know what comes in play. Daphne done with her trip to Spain yet? No, she's still España. I think she is through May at least. Julianne, kind of sucks that the world economy is hinging on forcing cancer patients to work to live and seniors or disabled being forced to eat cat food to survive. Yeah, you'd think that when we create a society that we would have had, I don't know, created methods where that didn't have to be the case. That perhaps, like, the strong help take care of the weak, that type of thing, like you'd expect any society to do. But American society is like, fuck you. DW brand BBBYQ seems like a trap to me. Seen similar in the past. They can continue to suppress price action and dangle that carrot in front of penny stock investors. The price won't change. The money put in. Very possible. Again, like I said, I'm treating it as what I've put in there is just lost and gone forever. And if anything else happens, then woohoo! That's it. I do not expect BBY to bounce back and me be a cajillionaire. I do fully expect that I will have a write-off on my taxes come next year. So that's how I'm going to treat it. LA, the banks are trying to stop short selling. Which bank will be the best one to invest in that's shorted in case shorting ends? I don't think it will do them any good. So when they put the kibosh on naked shorting financial institutions, remember, shorting is okay. It's naked shorting that was made illegal in 2008. When they put the kibosh on naked shorting, 2 weeks later, we had the greatest crash in the market since the Great Depression. So if the hedge funds have run out of things to short and they're attacking the hands that feed them, that's a sign the economy is about to crash really, really, really hard. So if they say, okay, you cannot short banks anymore. Okay, then don't allow the shorting of anything, right? Like, if you're claiming that they're using short selling as a method to manipulate bank stocks to the point where the banks collapse, then perhaps extend that courtesy to every other company out there. Why just banks get to be immune from manipulation? Why can't everyone be immune from this kind of manipulation? So, right? Yeah, it's the step they want to take every time shorts start attacking banks since 2008. Yeah. Why is everything up 10% today on No News? You got me. Jim One Irons. Freddie Freeman is 3 home runs away from 300 for his career. He'll be a good guest for your 300th. You could talk about the similarities and differences of what has helped you both achieve 300. I'll take him. Freddie Freeman, you want to come on my show and talk baseball? Let's do it. Marvendum. We were promised jetpacks. Also, phenomenal band name. Yeah. Matt Newton, drop link to the site. Oh, it's linked to Roza's doohickey. This is a Dropbox link. Okay, sorry. I tweeted out, but I forget that not everyone here is on Twitter. There you go. There's a link to the Dropbox for the filing. Garnet Ogre, thank you for what you do. Do you know any news on Zella stock? No. Zella is not one of those things. Problem is that there's so many stocks out there that I just don't have the brain capacity to know what the hell's going on. Excella Technologies Incorporated, they're at 3 cents. That's very low. American Business Process Automation Company was created with the merger of Source HOV LLC and Novatex Holdings Incorporated and Quinpario Acquisition Corp. That doesn't really tell me what they do. Business services of some kind. Business services. Last 6 months they had a high of 40 cents. 5 5 years. They were at $417 a share in 2018. $427 a share. Holy smokes. They must have done a whole bunch of splits. Split. Down to $18. They had some peaks in 2021 where they were at 50 something, and now they're at 3 cents. That is quite the downward spiral. Beyond that, I know nothing about what they do. Zella stock rises Monday, outperforms market. So it rose a penny. Stupid market. Well, I'm not going to subscribe to you dumb assholes. Announces adjournments for special meeting. Local business process automation leader today announced it adjourned a special meeting of stockholders scheduled for May 5th. The meeting will reconvene on May 11th. Virtually the same login. Okay. I got a week with no pollen, and now the pollen's back, and I can feel it in my throat right now. Stop jizzing trees, I beg of you. Or we need just a horde of bees to gobble up all the pollen for me. I don't know. I know nothing about these people. Absolutely nothing. So sorry, I can't be of help. They were one time $400 a share. Today they're 3 cents. I don't know what happened in between. So hungry right now. Okay. Cochina means kitchen. Cochina means nasty dirty. All right. Five fish tacos, $6.49. There you go. That's the way to go. Just scream and deal. That's right. LA banks just want them to stop shorting. LA, the banks just want them to stop shorting banks, not all short selling. That's the thing. It's like, what's good enough for me is not good enough for you, you peasant pissants. That's kind of seems to be their MO. Banks just want them to stop short selling. Yes. If you never used one, I highly suggest the little double fans that set up in the window frame create a cross draft. They're direction selectable and can exchange all the air in the house fast. I wish, like this window, you can't really see behind me because it's just a glowing bright wall of white, but it's a window that opens like this, and it makes it very hard to put things in the window. If it was one of these or one of these, that'd be fantastic, but this does not help. Hi, cat. You back? Oh, Mike's gonna give you a butt stuff first. Come on, bud. You don't have to put up with that. There you go. Cattail! I have a YouTube channel called Cattail Karaoke. Personally, I'd have a few heat pump equipped mini splits no matter where I live in the U.S., even the Northwest. I would love, like, MOAS money, right? Rip out the crappy oil furnace that costs a fortune. Rip that sucker out, put in a heat pump. Oh my goodness, have cool air in the summer, warm air in the winter, and have it not cost me $1,000 a month? That'd be great. That would be great. Because heating oil, you suck. Smells bad, it's expensive, not efficient, just garbage. Just give me a heat pump, man. Okay. Jimmy Moon next earnings report. If they've got a profit 2 quarters in a row, I think that's really good for everybody. Okay. Virginia Beach 757 was stationed in San Diego and Coronado Island for 5 years. Amazing place. I really, really, really enjoyed San Diego when I was there. I was young. I was surfing all the time. I was living on the beach with beautiful women. it really was like a peak of existence. Just absolute peak. I mean, I remember one time, so these concrete walls that are on like on the beach side of the boardwalk, and I was walking back from dinner one night. Again, I'm just skinny 18-year-old kid, look like a child, and I'm flanked by two beautiful Swedish sisters in their 20s. We're walking back to the house after dinner, and there's these kids along the wall who are just like flipping shit to everybody as they go. They're just like, I don't know, they're like drinking out of paper bags and just heckling anyone who goes by. And as we're approaching them, I got one on the other side of me. They're like, "Hey man, are those your sisters?" And I just grabbed them both close and said, "No, but they are sisters." And as we walked by, Marie was on my right. She just like tapped this kid in his chest. He did this like, and then fell off the wall. It was just, too big for my own britches. All right. Cloud K20, I think we know the answer. Its problem only affects the super rich. Yeah, that's why you can't short banks, because rich people don't want you to short them. They should remain rich forever, right? Daphne's here. She's staying up late. I'm ruining Daphne's sleep schedule all the time. So welcome, Daphne. They fit odd-sized windows. Okay, noted. We're coming home on the 20th, going back in September. Good time to go back. If Marius and I can find funding, we will be in Europe in the summer. Very likely in Mallorca. So we'll be in España. Okay. Did I catch up? Holy crap, how'd that happen? How did I catch up? Did I miss a bunch? Freeman? I don't think I did. All right. So, give it to me, because I don't have... I'm out. I've got nothing to do. I need to call the call and response. What shall we do? Oh, I'm in top chat. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I missed a lot. Take it out, top chat. Thank you. Marius is the German gentleman who edits the clips of my shows. Crap. All right, so I missed a whole bunch because I was in top chat, but then I switched it into live chat, and it deleted the first hour of chats. So, okay, talking about San Diego. Talking about we did that one. Looks like another heat dome forming did that one. Talked about NNOx. I have no idea who they are. Great crunch. Okay. Okay. I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything different so far. You're talking about 90th day. So come on, Court. Give us something. Give us anything. This is the whole point was this should have been done lickety split in a day, and it's been months and months and months. It's been 5 months. Just give us something, dude. Give us something. Why are the regional banks up? Did you see that they're lobbying SEC to ban predatory shorting in bank stocks? No, that's probably why they're up. It's because they're lobbying to ban shorting. So if you can't short them, then you can't make the stock go down. Which won't stop them from disappearing entirely because people are pulling their money out at record paces and dumping them into much larger banks, which isn't good. Having only 3 banks run the entire country isn't a good thing. It's a very bad thing. So perhaps, maybe, just possibly, if we could not do that, that'd be great. be great if we just didn't build monopolies, because we know how it turns out. It's not good for anyone. People complain about the microphone. People saying the microphone isn't causing any problems. The fan. If I turn my voice off, I'm not seeing any spike whatsoever from the fan. Okay. Excuse for everything. All right. I just want to go to a Mexican restaurant, say cochino and mean cocina. Okay. Yeah. This dirty restaurant. Limpieza. That's the only word I know for clean. Kitchen. Limpieza. PG Sunday. So we spent $355 million to go to the moon, but missed the tapes. Wait, missed the tapes? I don't know what that means. PG Sunday, expand. Why is Snurtler hidden? I unhid Snurtler. I don't know why Snurtler got hidden. You hid him by accident. So I unhid him. I think he got accidentally bumped by someone's finger on their phone while watching the video. Okay. Probably because you were probably playing with the new clicky reaction bar and accidentally hid him. Sorry, Snurt. Lobbying to stop shorting banks to the rest of us. Michael Harrow noticed I have been buying no-name store brand things at the grocery store instead of name brand things now. Money's running low. Need MMTLP to trade real soon. That would be great, wouldn't it? I did, like, before the trading halt happened. You know, in your brain, you, like, fantasize about, oh, would you like to have $1 million cash to play with or whatever. I was in the grocery store. I was buying, like, the store brand mustard and the store brand ketchup and the store brand cereal and the store brand everything. And I was like, okay, let's say that this MMTLP thing works out. There's a short squeeze and I make $1 kajillion off of it. Will I be able to get over my inability to buy name brand things because they cost more? Like, will I allow myself to live that good life? I honestly don't know what the answer to that is. Like, you know, these rich guys, they're making $50,000 a day in interest off of their wealth, right? Some of them are still penny pinching. Others are like, you know what? I can spend $40,000 today and I'll never touch my principal. So I'm going to have a really nice meal at a really nice restaurant. I'm going to drive a really nice car. I'm going to live in a really nice house. And they can do that just fine. But, like, the barrier of being just a poor SOB my entire life, would I be able to pop that circuit and be like, I don't care if this steak's $100. It doesn't matter to me. Money. I don't know if I would. I think I'd still be like, ooh, the Heinz is $8 for 20 ounces, and the Safeway brand is $3 for 20 ounces. We're going to get the Safeway brand ketchup today. I don't know if I'll be able to be that guy who doesn't buy the off-brand stuff and buys the name brand good stuff. I just don't know. I don't know. BTW brand Houston, any thoughts on the likely cost-cutting measures companies will take and are taking to gut their workforce? How bad will it be this time? Yeah. It seems like a lot of the cost-cutting is a keeping up with the Joneses. So if you are a middle to big tech company, right? And you see the really, really, really big A-lister tech companies cutting jobs. You see Amazon and Microsoft and Apple and Twitter and Adobe and like these huge companies cut jobs, thousands of them. And you're at a company and you're a billionaire business owner, but you're not quite the A-lister. You know, you're a company that's middle ground, like an Atlassian or whatever. You can be like, oh man, all my rich buddies got to fire some people. So maybe I should fire some people. And then I can talk about how hard it was to fire people. And I can get some sympathy. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry I had to lay people off. This sucks. Being a CEO really sucks. That's the feeling I get that's happening right now. Is that, like, it's almost like hip to like be into layoffs right now. Like layoffs are in, baby. That's the feeling I get for a lot of these layoffs. It's not necessarily like these jobs weren't useful. It's more like, oh, we should lay some people off because that's what you do. But at the same time, they're, you know, oh, we're going to devote $100 billion to stock buybacks. Okay. So you're going to buy back stock and you're going to lay off thousands of workers to do that. But also you will not be able to grow your company because growth requires the employees who are able to grow, right? So I think it's all short-sighted, short-term. You want to release a new product? Cool. You need the people to do that. If you fire them, they can't release new products. You know, to expand your services? Awesome. Expand your services, you get more income. But if you fire everyone, you can't expand your services. That's kind of the issue. Like, if the company's losing money, yeah, you gotta lay some people off because they're redundant, right? But if you're still in a growth industry that's making record amounts of profit, why are you cutting jobs when you can grow more and make even more money? I don't know. I mean, granted, Facebook did spend $36 billion trying to create the metaverse, which was just a giant calamitous disaster that no one used and no one wanted and no one asked for. So yeah, they got to lay off a bunch of people there and go back to their core business, which is creating viral nonsense for your grandma to share. How much Facebook dropped the ball is incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. Like, they really were about to rule the world, and then all of a sudden Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh, let's sell your data to a bunch of Russian spies and then make me's play workplace simulator. I don't really understand why. Mark, you should just called me, told me your idea, and I've been like, no, absolutely not. No. Unless I would have saved you $36 billion and your market cap would be bigger than ever. So just give me a call next time, man. No one wants a workplace simulator. They don't want to go to work to begin with. They love working from home. They don't want to pretend like they're in the office because, well, then you have to be in the office. So don't. Daphne, I say we ban shorting period for everyone. Yes. And ban lobbyists. Even better. Quantum Shore. JP Morgan will absolutely still sell swap contracts to institutions, even if shorting is made illegal. They're pushing government to ban shorting so that JP Morgan can be the primary seller of these contracts. Yeah, well, JP Morgan wants all of them to go under. Because as long as those regional banks go under, the last man standing will be JP Morgan. They love it. They're all about it. So if they can make money off of shorting them and make money off of their deposits, it's a win-win for Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan. Which is why the government needs to smash JP Morgan into a million, billion, cajillion little pieces. They should not exist. Like their entire name, right? JP Morgan Chase Manhattan Bank, is that they're multiple large banks put together and getting an ever longer. It's like one of those German words that just gets put together and made really long. They're they are an example of merger and acquisition getting out of hand. They need to slow their roll, reverse a whole bunch of mergers, and break that bank up into 1,000 pieces. BW brand people love to talk about the fact that NASA didn't consider it important to keep archives of the space stuff they did. I mean, there are some archives. I've got some. Let's see here. I've got some archives. I know I do. Where are you? That is not that. That's not that. Folder. Oh, there it is. It is locked here. Can I get you out? There's the speaker in the way. The speaker is in the way. There we go. Okay. You guys want some meat? You want some big old thick meaty reading? This is the preliminary science report from the Apollo 15 mission. It is complete with photographs of panoramic photographs of the lunar surface. Come on. Oh, you just want to fold so poorly, don't you? I can't put you back. There we go. And there's dozens of them. Lots of photographs of lunar surface in here. Also, not just like what they did, but the basic theory of lunar orbiting. Like it's a giant textbook, essentially. It is some of the thickest X-ray fluorescent ray experiments, talking about how the albedo of X-ray rays off the lunar surface happens. Laser ranging retroflector. These are the little mirrors they put on the surface of the moon to measure how far away the moon is going every year with lasers based on Maui. What's this one? Super thermal ion detector experiment, lunar ionosphere detector. It's basically checking to see if there's an ionosphere around the moon. Heat flow experimentation. So this is just a list of every experiment done during Apollo 15. And not only that, but also basics of like the timeline of the missions, geologic investigation landing site, so testing to see what minerals were there, creep, potassium, rare earth elements, and phosphorus, and helium-3. And with the regolith, this is just meat. There is how many scientific papers in here listed from just Apollo 15? Okay, so we got mission description, summary scientific results, photographic summary, crew observations. Okay, and then it goes papers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The number, that's 25, 26. 26 has, what's that, dozen parts to it? Yeah. Okay, so there's 26 full-length papers, and the 26th paper has another 20 parts to it. So, that's a lot. That's a lot in here, man. Anyway, there's a record. There's some record of of being on the moon. Not necessarily videos and stuff, but not as bad as I think the BBC recording over Doctor Who, being like, "I was put other shows on these tapes. Let's reuse these tapes, save some money," and then like getting rid of record of the shows people love. But yeah, that's a meaty book right there. Quantum shorts like '08 all over again, but the too big to fail are even bigger. Yeah, which is like, if the problem was certain banks were too big to fail, so you had to spend a bunch of money to keep them alive, then you don't make them bigger than they even were. You break them up so that you have like a school of fish, right? You've got 10 million fish, a shark come along, eat a few of them. The genetic diversity in the school of fish are fine. But you've got like one giant sunfish that's stupid and floats along, and they just come along, take chunks out of them, and they just disappear forever. Then oops, that's not kind of what you want. I'm scratching the cat's head. It's just such a fuzzy little creature. Oh, you're so scratchy. You're just a scratchy little guy. Where did I just lost my spot again? Maybe a brand the archives they have from major broadcasters. And they literally taped over old footage to cost-cutting measures. So some portions of history were written over by Donahue and the like. Yeah, that stuff sucks. Like, yeah, I get what I'm picking up what you're laying down. Michael Harrow, after glucose monitoring, what do you think no labs will try to monitor next with their bio-ARFID device? They'll probably go for disease detection. You can detect cancers. Bacterial infections. Probably elevated levels of toxicity. You could probably do, if you're a police department and you want to see if someone's an impaired driver, you can test them for alcohol with breathalyzer. But anything else, you're going to need like a blood test or a hair sample test. And that takes a lot of time. If you can just point this thing, go, boop, oh, this person's out of their mind on methamphetamines because this thing's saying, oh my God, there's so many methamphetamines in their system. That would be a very valuable contract to have. You could buy those devices, probably sell them for thousands of dollars each to each police department. Every single squad car in the country will have one. Yeah, so I could see that being a thing. I would be interested in working with Ron. This is what my PhD originally was going to be on when I was going to go to Australia before COVID. Was going to be using it to identify minerals. Just go, boop, I'm like, oh, what's the mineral content of that rock? I'm looking for this particular element. Is it in there or not? Ding, no, it's not in there. Ding, oh yeah, we got 6 parts per million or whatever. And then seeing if you could create larger antennas with higher wattage and do it from further and further away. So maybe you could fly a drone over a region, just beaming down and mapping the mineralogical content of an entire area. Much more remote sensing type, or maybe put in a satellite and just have it orbit the Earth. And just like taking pictures from Landsat, you can do it with this device measuring the mineral content of things. It'd be worth the experiment. Map the entire world, know where everything is. Brianna says, I'm seeing businesses raise their prices because they can, but they are also getting their user base at fast rate and not realizing those people won't come back when they find alternatives. Yeah, that's the thermocline of trust right there. Once you lose someone and they are fed up with you, they oftentimes don't come back. So you don't want to burn your bridges. I remember, my grandfather, he at one time was moneyed. He had a bunch of land in Miami. The combination of a huge hurricane / the Great Depression wiped everything out. But back then he was best friends with J.C. Penney, the J.C. Penney. And so he was a family. I never met the guy. They're long dead. My grandfather died before I was born. But my dad knew J.C. Penney as a result of his friendship with my grandfather. And I remember this was 30 years ago, my mom having a conniption because she had a J.C. Penney credit card. And she'd use it for when we got to school shopping or whatever, she put on a J.C. Penney credit card. And she had purchased school clothes. I mean, it was maybe 4th or 5th grade at the time. Purchased school clothes, made the payment, and then creditors from JCPenney started calling, begging, saying, you have to pay us more. She's like, but I paid. I took care of it. And they're like, how dare you? You knew us money. And they started hounding her. She's like, there's nothing left. I don't have anything to pay. And so she closed her card and cursed them. And we were no longer allowed to go to JCPenney. Couldn't shop there, couldn't do anything. We were never going to use their business again because they pissed her off enough that she was over it. And this is a giant corporation that was founded by a family friend. And they made it so uncomfortable for my mom to be their customer that she never went to them again. And all of a sudden, the next year, they were in Chapter 11, closing stores, all this stuff. So it doesn't take much to like really turn off a customer to the point where they'll never use you again. Humans hold grudges. We are really good at it. We hold some grudges for thousands of years. They're passed down from father to son and so on. And some of them make no sense because of whatever happened 2,000 years ago. Don't make no sense. Hatfields and McCoys, whatever. And you break that thermocline of trust, someone will make it their life's mission to see you ruined out of just spite. Like, how dare you inconvenience me that way? I'm going to badmouth you to everybody I know. I'm going to write letters to the editor. I'm going to pick it outside your store. I'm going to be the biggest pain in your ass you've ever had in your entire life. To the point where everyone's like, yeah, I'm just not going to go to JCPenney anymore. So it's not hard to alienate those people. Not hard at all. But it is so much easier to make your money off a few customers than have to have like 1 million customers to make your money off of and sell things at a 9% profit. It's just so much easier with like 1 million customers, with like 6 customers than it is with 1 million customers. Michael Harrow bet during the next Super Bowl there will be no new startup companies advertising anymore or have any commercials because of the recession, and everyone's spending their money more wisely. Looking at Super Bowl commercials, how much they're charging for a 30-second ad and who has those ads is always really interesting data. Because 08, 09, price of Super Bowl actually dropped. People who advertised were different than you'd expect. Granted, you still had, like the beer and stuff like that, but I can feel the pollen. I can feel the pollen monkey. Take a break. Give me some of this. Right. Give her some of this while I rest my voice. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. Life as a dog has such simple pleasures. Like, can you imagine how every time humans got some sort of like beef snack, we lost our goddamn minds? Look at this thing. Look at this thing right here. This creature is freaking out. She cannot control herself. It is the most exciting thing she's ever experienced in her entire life. She's bouncing. She's punching me with her feet right now. She's just losing her freaking mind because this is the best moment of her entire life. Right here. Get it. Get it, monkey. Get it. Yeah. There you go. Just cannot comprehend. Like, there's foods I enjoy, but I don't know if I lose my fucking mind if someone dangled one in front of me. Like this. Which is no better moment. She just has not had a better moment in her entire life than those 10 seconds right there. Okay. But man, my throat. Snort alert. Oh, Snort alert's back. Sorry, you got the boot there by accident. Day one after MOAS, I buy a lot of brands of food. Day two after MOAS, I will drown in a bathtub full of caviar, crying with a crying supermodel by my side. As I've always said, you win the lotto, and you go up there to like receive a giant check, and you're at some press conference, and some reporter's like, "So, now that you have a $500 million, what are you gonna do with your life?" And if your answer isn't something along the lines of, "Ladies and gentlemen, if in 6 months I'm not dead or broke, then I did it wrong," then you're definitely doing it wrong. Peachy Sunday sent a hot dog. Thank you, Peachy Sunday, for the hot dog. Kevin Turner inherited some Fiesta ware plates from my grandma to find out the glaze has uranium in it. If you have any knowledge, if it's dangerous. Yes, don't eat off of it, but they are very valuable. Uranium glaze Fiesta ware sells for a bunch. You can find it on eBay here. eBay.com. Uranium. Oops. Okay, that's not uranium ones. Let's do uranium. Uranium glass bowl. Here we go. Oh, these are just like little glasses. But where are some of the big bowls that are worth a lot of money? $55, $10, $4 for a glass spoon. So, yeah, $4 for a glass spoon, $26 for a vase. Uranium glass bowl. I wouldn't eat off anything with uranium. That just seems like a terrible idea. Vaseline glass ball cap? What the hell does that even mean? Uranium glass missing bowl. Uranium dark glass bowl. These are actually pretty much cheaper than I've seen them in the past. They're worth more than this. But a lot of people have like really cool cabinets full of like uranium glass and uranium painted objects, old radium dial clocks and stuff. But yeah, collect it, put it in a glass cabinet. Just don't eat off of it. Derek Colhorse, doesn't all this bloat make the economy bigger? To a point. It's a bubble, and the bubble goes, and then pop, boom, and it dies. Carlos R. Good afternoon. Wade, happy birthday. BBYQ, what you thinking? Again, there could be a savior who buys them out of bankruptcy, and we make some money off of it. There's just as large chance that people try to buy it, don't get approved, and then it just dies. So, I'm treating my entire investment in BBYQ as lost money, and anything else that comes from it, if it's good, then all right. You said, okay, we might have landed on the moon, Houston. Can we as civilians do any anti-monopoly lawsuits against banks or other companies? I think you have to file a complaint with FTC. So that's probably what it starts. File a complaint with FTC. They have to acknowledge that complaint and investigate it. So if we all file complaints to FTC about these banks getting too large, then maybe they'll be forced to do antitrust lawsuits against them and force the companies to break up. It's a years-long process, but that seems to be how it has to be done. It's a hot dog. Gentleman's Wharf, great shirt, doing the do. Snurtlert, speaking of old grudges, Lower Uncton and the Fat Witch. I have no idea what those words in combination mean at all. Uranium plates glow in the dark or something? I think they have a cool green color. I think they react under black light, if I remember correctly. I've never actually played with them, so I don't know. Half is fake. Interesting. Robert Pierpoint, Houston. I've collected uranium glass for like 10 years now. I've well over 500 pieces. Some of my pieces are worth over $1,000 each, but $100 or so, probably my average value. Dang. I bet the cabinets look really cool, though. If I were a rich guy, had giant hallways in my 1,000-room mansion, doing an entire hallway of glass cases of nothing but uranium lights, or uranium glassware with black lights would be friggin' cool. Monkey would enjoy that, right? Yeah. Are you eating your bone? You're looking at me like I'm some sort of terrorist. I gave you food 20 seconds ago. What's up? Why give me side eye like that? Curtis, just be glad you're not in the Canadian money laundromat. Brutal here. Yeah. Canada's got to figure some stuff out. Like, there's no reason land prices should be as high as they are in a country as lowly populated as you are. It's just silly that things are so expensive when you have so much land. Doesn't make any sense. Mikey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come over here. Quit being weird. Quit being weird, you weird dog. All right, Daphne's going to sleep. Good night, Daphne. I only got 5 minutes left anyway, and then Houston's got to get out of here. Did you watch the NFL draft? No, but I read about it afterwards. Who did the Seahawks get for the Denver pick? Seahawks draft tracker. Let's see here. Come on, go somewhere. Work, internet. You can do it. You have the power. Reject everything. Okay, so I think Jackson Smith, was that the one that was the no, Denver will be round 5. We're only pick 5, so that's Denver. David Witherspoon. So Seahawks selected Illinois cornerback Devin Witherspoon, number 5 pick in the draft, a move that looks to be all about drafting the best player rather than picking for a need. When General Manager John Schneider was asked last week about what has been the key to the team's best draft since he and Pete Carroll took over in 2010, he pointed to the ability to get to know the person and the competitor. He said it was important not to push players based on specific needs. What I want to know is how many frontline dudes do they get? And the frontline guys are always further down the line here. Big fat fatties, what are you? Are you O-line? Offensive line depth. There we go. So we are getting some offensive line in higher rounds. That's good. We need more O-line people. Because the whole reason Russell Wilson was running for his life a couple years ago is that we spent all our money on Russell Wilson and not on any offensive line folks. But that looks like... maybe what are you? Oluwatimi. Watimi. Oh, he's a defensive end? Okay. Alright. So, but we do need O-line. Everyone needs O-line. You have a good enough O-line, you're guaranteed to go to the playoffs. You put your grandma on a chair behind a really good O-line, and she could throw 300 yards a game. It's when they spend $60 million on a quarterback, and then they gut the O-line, and the quarterback dies. Because I don't care how good an arm you have, how good of play options you have, how quick a release is. If every single time is a blitz and you just get mowed over, you can only do that for so many times before you have to retire. And towards the end, that's what Eli Manning was facing in New York, was just getting run over every play because he had no offensive line. And if you get tackled more than any quarterback in history, you know what? You go, yeah, I'm done playing. I physically can't do this anymore. PG Sunday, if they ban shorting banks, what happened to your put options? Put options will still exist. It will be that you can't borrow stock and sell it, and you won't be able to naked short it. That's what will happen. So it'll be harder to meet those put prices as a result. Yeah. That's where it is. Derek Coles, what positions do you hold? All I have is BBYQ. I got BBY, I got GME, I have AMC, I have BBig, No Labs, GMGF, Black Dragon, was it Zenith Holdings, MMM, who else do I have in there? Sears. Who else am I playing with? I got some regular tech stocks, Microsoft, Amazon, things like that. Those are just like, let's let sit there forever and collect your dividends and move on with your life type stocks. And then I've got retirement accounts and index funds and mutual funds. And he can't see over his own line. How's that happen to Andrew Luck? Yes, Andrew Luck got run over, and he was like, I'm out. I made my millions, I'm done. So. Okay, so it's 4:30. I gotta get going. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Probably not an afternoon show. Probably be a late night show because I have to use Wednesday to try and finish mowing the lawn. I have 3 more yards to go. and at its length, that is like 10 hours of sweating. So it'll probably be a late night show on Wednesday. If anything interesting happens, we'll pop on. I may do a Twitch tonight at like 10 p.m. Pacific. If you're feeling late and you want to hang out, head on over to the Twitch channel, which I'll throw the link in here again. Where are you? There you are. Click that, copy that, put that in there. Shaboing, boing, boing. Twitch channel's there. I'll see you for 300. So episode 300 will be sometime on Wednesday. Not sure when, but probably not daytime because I have to mow. And I got to mow before it gets to be 90 degrees because I physically don't think I can do that right now if mowing 90-degree weather. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I've never heard of people having difficulty mowing the lawn. The Northwest, it rains for 100 days in a row. And when it stops raining, you have a few days to get your lawn mowed, but the lawn is this tall because it starts growing at the end of February, but it's still pissing rain every single day. Just raining for the next 2.5 months. The lawn is like, I love this so much. And just grows and grows and grows and grows. And then all of a sudden you are left with trying to chop down a forest. What you need is a combine harvester, and what you have is a 21-inch wide electric mower because the gas-powered riding lawn mower doesn't work anymore, and you can't figure out why. So that's why mowing sucks. On a good day, when it's not much in the summertime and the grass is dry, it's 9.54 miles to mow my yard. Right now, it's 9.54 miles done like 4 times each way to mow that sucker down. So it's just, yeah. Curtis got 5 inches to mow on Friday. I'm talking right now, over in the orchard, some of the blades of grass are up to my hip. And I got to do that with a push electric mower. Okay. All right. Everyone says need sheep or goat. Can't get sheep or goat because Monkey will murder them. She only likes horses. Every other barnyard animal is out. Oh, she's okay with cows. But if you're a different barnyard animal, she freaks the fuck out. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.